Hi everyone. Sorry about the delay, technical trouble on my end, so I think we've got everything rolling now. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to show you my beautiful azaleas that are blooming in my yard. I'm Laura Collet. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and this time of year everything is blooming. Everybody has sinus trouble, and there are lots of different colored azaleas in the yards, so I wanted to share those with you. And I also had a rather exciting weekend. I had my school reunion, high school reunion, which has been delayed 2 years, should have been in 2020, and I'm not going to tell you which one it was. I've been telling anybody that asked that it was my 20th. So we had a get-together with a buffet dinner, dancing, and all that good stuff, listening to our music. That was held on Friday night. Saturday, we toured our old high school, LSU Lab School. It's also known as U-High, or University Lab School. So, and I was one of the few that went there from first grade through 12th. So it was really exciting to see how much the school has grown and what all they're doing there. Then on Saturday night, we went to K Street Grill for another dinner and cocktail party. It was just wonderful getting together with friends, and we had a pretty good turnout. Some that couldn't come before were able to come, and then some that were coming 2 years ago, their plans had changed. But anyway, we just had a wonderful, wonderful time. So now today I want to share with you some exciting things. First of all, you'll get a glimpse of this, our brand new catalog. I can't even open the page for you because it's top secret until you get to see it in May. This will run from May 2020 through April 2023. I said April 2022 to April 23. And there are just some awesome things in here. But I got this in the mail last week, I guess it was last week, and got it bound and put my little tabs on. So I'm ready to rock and roll with that. But what I'm going to share with you today is a set, a bundle, which always means it's 10% off, that's in the January-June mini catalog. And the mini catalog does run until the end of June. So it's going to overlap a little bit with the new catalog. But I just thought this was the cutest little set. And I'm turned my little card into a birthday card. So let me put this over here. It didn't have a birthday sentiment, so I went to one of my other stamp sets, Peaceful Moments, and picked this one right here. Now, look how adorable these little cards are. And they're pop-ups. So on the inside, you put your little flowers that hold them up. And I'm going to show you how easy, quick, and simple this is. And since I'm late, I'm going to get started right now. For this card, you are going to need your stamp and trimmer. And this card base was cut at 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. So it's a different size from what we normally go with. So it's going to fit like that in the envelope, which nothing wrong with that unless you want to make a special envelope. So along with this, you're going to have a piece of DSP. I've used different ones just to show you that you have, a variety of things that you can use. And as you saw, I looked outside of the box and decided not to make my ladybug red and black like they usually are. So I just pulled some colors from the DSP, and now I'm going to show you how to get started. The first thing you're going to do is score your card just like you would a normal card at 4 1/4. And this is very important. My scoring blade fell out. This is my cutting blade, so I'm putting it there. So I'm using the stylus from the Simply Scored board, which you could use, but if you don't have that, just grab a stylus, and I'm using the small end and drag it through the track, and that'll give you your scored card right there. Now, before I put this away, I'm going to do two things. To get the little ladybug to pop up, you need to score from the top down to the bottom where your fold is going to be. So I'm going to center this, putting the little top edge in the track. Let me pull that down so you can see it a little better. And then I'm going to put the first score line where we scored it to fold it in half. I'm going to line those two places up. Oops. And again, I'm going to use my stylus. And I'm doing it a couple of times just to make sure that it scores well. And before I put the trimmer away, we do need 2 pieces of our DSP. And again, I'm going to be putting the corners in the little track. And cutting it into 2 pieces. Now be sure when you go to glue it on that you are paying attention to the way that it is oriented. So here I'm going to fold my DSP in half, my card base in half, and then I'm going to fold the triangle that I just scored, like so. Now I'm going to put adhesive on the back of those pieces. And I'm going by the line here. I want it to be just like 1/8 of an inch or so. And that way it should line up around the edges. Now I'm going to do the bottom, and again I'm going to use that score line as my point of reference. Okay, so now there is our card base. So I'm going to set that aside. And the colors that I pulled out of here to use today are Flirty Flamingo, Bahama Bay, and then we're going to throw in a little Granny Apple Green. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in just a minute. Now, this is a fun way to get started. And you know the punches that come with 2 pieces, and you have to cut so carefully and punch 1 piece and then go in and cut the other piece. Well, I'm going to show you a trick that you can use with any of these that have more than 1 image. The first thing I did, I put some cardstock. It can be just trash cardstock, contraband, whatever. And I put it in, and I punched out just a white ladybug, and I'm going to use this as my template. Now, so that I get it back or make sure it's in the same place just in case I'm making multiple cards. I'm just going to take a little piece of a pencil and draw on my piece of grid paper, just so I'll know where it's going. And I'll go ahead and use my magnets. Now you're going to take your ladybug and the flat side. Oh, I'm using our Stamp-O-Ratus. This is a positioning tool that if you don't have, it is totally awesome. And it comes with 2 different plates, so you can do multiple things with that. But today, I'm getting off track. I want to show you about how to line up your ladybug. Okay. The raised side is going to fit right inside the template. And you can kind of wiggle it around and feel where it's lining up. And I'm doing the same thing with the wings. Okay, now I put my stamp, pick it up, and I can put this in my stamp case to use again. Now, along with the card base that I told you was 4 1/4 by 8 1/2 when it's opened, and you had a 4x4 piece of DSP, you're also going to have a 4x4 piece of Whisper White that we're going to put on the inside, a I think this one's 3 1/2, let's see, yes, 3 1/2 inch square of the Flirty Flamingo, and I went ahead and cut out the circle, so we have that, and then a 3 inch square for the white layer. So let's look back at our card. So you have the Flirty Flamingo layer and the circle for the white that you're going to mount your little ladybug on. So I'm going to put those aside. And then I also have a couple of pieces. If you position it right, and we'll see how it looks when I do this, you can get the little flowers that are stamped and fussy cut out. You can get them on here. So let's see how we do with this. I'm going to put it back close to where it was, and let's see. That's right in the middle, so I'm going to raise it up just a little bit. Let's see how that does. Down a bit. Now this should, I think this will do it. Let me put that there. Okay, I'm going to move my magnet up here and down here so that they won't interfere. Now, what I'm doing is, instead of inking up the little wings one color and the body another color, I'm just going to go ahead and do the ladybug one color, and then I'm going to clean it, switch inks, and do another ladybug. So we're going to go ahead and use the Flirty Flamingo first. Now, if you have the stamp in spots, it would be a lot easier. You could just stamp what you wanted one color and then use another spot for the other. But like I said, we're just going to make 2, and that way, for my second card, it'll already be stamped. Okay, now I'm going to press down really good. The wonderful thing about the Stamp-O-Ratus is that if you need, let's make sure it's in the same spot. If you need to do it again, like I need to ink it just a little bit more, it should be in the same spot. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay, there we go. Look at that, perfect. And I've got room that I can stamp our flowers, and I'm going to go ahead and do that since, oops, I closed the ink pad. Since it was open, I was going to go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to put it so that it's not in the way of the punch. Oops. Okay, well, we'll do it on the back or do it on the other one. That one did not come out as good. Okay. Now, I'm going to put that aside, and we'll do the next one. I think it was about right there. I need to clean the ink off since I'm changing colors. I have one of these little things. We have the cleaning, the chamois in the catalog that you can use. But I already had this, and I liked using that one. So while that is drying a bit, I'm going to go ahead and punch out and show you how easy this is. Okay, I'm lining up the ladybug. Most of the time, you're going to turn your punches over so that you can see what you're punching out. Okay, and that's a pretty good, okay, look. So now we have one flirty flamingo ladybug that I'm going to set aside. Next, we're going to use our Bermuda Bay. I love this color. And I'm going to ink it up real good. Close it over. Press. Open it back up. Doing that, and I'm gonna do that part again. If you get ink like I did around here, it will not get on your paper if your paper's flat. If you have already folded your card and you're doing something inside, be careful of that because you can get excess ink where you don't want it. Okay, let's see how this one comes out. Okay, that one was a little teeny bit off when I raised it up. So we might use the wings on this one. Okay, again, I'm sticking my image in here. And I'm just pressing down a little bit to hold it while I'm moving it around. Okay. So now we have two ladybugs. And let's do, I'll tell you what, since I have this ink open, we'll do Bermuda Bay Flowers. Oops. Okay. And I think we can get these, let's see, I'm going to turn it around and stamp it right there. Cool. Now I'm going to save those because I'm going to show you what to do with them in a minute. Okay, now it's time to assemble our card. And we have the base here. The two circles, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere them. Now I used a retired set called Stitch Shapes, but they have other ones that are current now that you can get, and they have the little raised thing on there, but any of the circles that you can, you just want one that's a little bit larger than the one that's going to be your center part. Now, this is the trick. You want to be sure that you do not put adhesive here. Okay, just on the other side. So I'm gonna, let me see if I can get this to work. I'm gonna do it about there. And yesterday I did my card and I had the ladybug on there already. And when I went to put the image down, it was off center and everything was kind of upside down and wonky. Okay, So you see that I don't have any adhesive here. That's so that it will pop up. Now, I'm going to use the body. Oh, let's go ahead and go with this one. I think that one will look better. And I'm going to put, you know, I love the dimensionals. And I know they're here. Oh, there they are, underneath my computer. Okay, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the ladybug, her body and her little head. And I'm going to kind of put her over to the side a little bit. And then I'm going to put her wings on. And do you hear the snoring? It's not my husband, it's my puppy. And now I'm going to go ahead and stamp the hello on here. See how if you do it, oops, see how if you do it before, everything before, it kind of turned it a different way. I guess it could go like that. It really doesn't matter. But anyway, I'm going to get the little hello that comes in the stamp set, and I'm going to put it, make sure that it's inked up, and I'm going to put it right there. Okay, perfect. Now, on the inside, we need to adhere our white paper. Remember, anytime that you have dark cardstock, you need to put a piece of neutral on the inside. Nobody told me that when I first got started, so I made some boo-boos, but it was okay. And I had already, oh wait, let's see, okay, here are the Bermuda Bay Flowers. And what I'm going to do is just fussy cut these. I'm doing them as a group, so you can just, if you want to leave a little white edge, which a lot of times I do, I'm just going to go in and out and around so that you can get all three of them together. And there we go. Okay, now I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals there. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 since it'll be stressed with the other part coming. And I'm kind of making, let's see, do I want it there so that one holds it? Do I want it here so both of them? I think that's what I'm going to do this time. So I'm going to put it down, take my little backs off, put it in the corner. And when you open the card, it'll stand up like so. And let me tilt it so that you can see it. So it'll be like that. Okay? Now, on the inside, I didn't want the happy birthday to show until they open the card. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Bermuda Bay. And it's always a good idea to check your stamp. Make sure you don't have any halos around there. That's the ink that gets it there, and sometimes it gets on your cinnamon, and you don't want it there. Perfect. Okay, well, for getting started late, I'm not going to finish that late, and I do apologize for that. Okay, so here we have our ladybug, hello, happy birthday on the inside, and you can pop your little card up like so. Remember, on the back, you want to keep closing this. Always remember to put your hallmark so that they know who made that card. It can say If you don't have a special stamp, I ordered this and have been using it for years, but I've seen people just take a little stamp, any kind, it could be a heart or anything, and then put their initials. And when I send my cards, I do like to put the year inside, and again, so that that wouldn't show, I would put it probably over at the top here or somewhere just above that line. Now, for the envelope, I thought it would be cute to use a different color. And this is the Granny Apple Green. I don't know that there's any in here on this particular paper, but on the other two, there was. So, I'm going to ink up. Now, this is the leaf out of the Ladybug set, and it really stamps great. Shows all the veins. And I'm going to put it right down here in the corner. Look at that. Wouldn't you know it? Let me see how good I am at going over this. For some reason, okay, you know what you do? Let me tell you what you do when you, and I'm going to use another envelope. Whenever you see that happen where you're not pressing hard enough in the center, a good thing to do is to put it on a foam mat. This is our Stampin' Pierce mat. And I ought to have some paper here so that I don't get it on there, my ink on there. So let's see if that comes out better. Aha, perfect. Just the little squish gives it the what it needed. And let's see. I was going to put my friend on this one. You know, I never put words on my envelopes until I actually borrowed this design. I did what we call cased. The Ladybug and everything. One of my Stampin' Up! Demonstrator friends that lives in Washington, Linda Heller, gave me this idea, and she had stamped something and then put some words here, so I thought that was really cute. So this will be the envelope for my Ladybug, and that is all I have to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know if you need a new catalog. I'm going to be ordering them hopefully in the next week or so, and in the next couple of weeks I will try to get them out to you if they need to be mailed. So please let me know if you are interested. And there was one last thing I wanted to share with you. But anyway, let me know. You can reach me. The information will be on the bottom when I download this to YouTube. But you can look me up on Facebook, Laura Collet, and it's C-O-L-L-E-T. Or you can email me. You can find all my information there, and it will tell you how to get in touch with me. One last thing I wanted to share was that for my reunion, I was asked to do a memory board. This isn't going to show up real well. For our classmates that we have loved and lost. And I'm sorry this isn't coming out better, but I used the gold foil that we have for the words, for those we have loved and lost. I also backed each picture. And then I used the Magnolia set. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if it's the light or lack of light. Let's see if that helps. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, So anyway, you never know when you're going to be asked to do something or want to share your Stampin' Up! With someone. And everybody was really, really liked what I had done for our reunion. And so that was the sad part of our reunion, but the rest of it was a blast, and we had a really, really good time. So until next time, this is Laura Collet in Baton Rouge. You've been at Lunch with Laura. My website is Stampin', no G, stampin'@thebirdnest.com. That's another way to get in touch with me. So let me know if you need a catalog, and I'll get it in the mail to you. And until next time, have a great week. Enjoy yourself. Easter's almost here, and hope you're having nice weather where you are. Love you. See you next time.